Hey guys, welcome back to Word to War. My name is Jorge Guerra.
And I'm Sergio Guerra.
And today we reviewed Instructions Not Included with Eugenio Derbez. So Eugenio Derbez is actually a Mexican actor slash, well, comedian slash actor, I guess would be more the term. He's a really funny guy. We grew up in Mexico, so we saw him a lot there. He's really big over there. He's had shows that run for years. He's starting to make the move into the United States. He's come out in a couple of different shows. He came out in a show with Rob Schneider. I think he's come out in a couple of movies too, like small parts. But this is actually something he directed. He's been working it for like the last 3 years, knocking on doors, trying to get it funded, and he finally broke down because nobody wanted to give him like a serious part. He was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do this on my own, and kind of did it on his own, smart release, and it's doing pretty good. And so we decided to go watch it. It's in Spanish, so Spanish and English, so it does have subtitles and stuff like that, but I do think they do good. So this story is pretty much a story of a guy who's pretty much just living the life out in Acapulco, which is kind of like Hawaii, but the Mexican version, which is a little bit better because you have tacos, and so this guy's just kind of living the life, kidding on tourists. Sleeping with all these beautiful girls that go vacation there, and and then his life just completely changes when one of them kind of drops the baby off at his door, 12 months later, and and it just kind of it's that journey of him living that lifestyle to kind of realizing he's got somebody else to take care of, and that whole journey of him kind of realizing that for him that's kind of what life is about. So for me, honestly, this film, it seemed interesting to me when I saw it. I saw it in commercials of that. Wasn't like super like, oh, I gotta go watch it first day. But in the long run, I'm extremely glad that I watched this movie. It was really well done. The acting was really good in it. The little girl in this, I'm not sure what her name is, and I should look it up because she is extremely good. Sometimes child actors you forgive a lot because you're like, oh, they're child actors, But this girl was super awesome acting chops, and it was a really heartfelt story. It was really it got it hit all the right places. Like, it was total feels for me. Just the story itself, like, honestly, it was total feels. I might have watered up a little bit in a couple places, but it was good. It was good, definitely. I thought it was a really well done movie. What did you think?
Well, I mean, I thought it was really good. This kind of movie doesn't really attract me very much because I don't like sappy stuff, and when I watched the commercial, that's kind of what it looked like. I have to confess, the first time I saw anything about it was the poster, and I'm like, well, fucking great, We're Mexicans. The very first, time that we got a real big Mexican powerhouse like Eugenio Derbez doing something in Hollywood, and he's doing the usual stereotype of a fucking Mexican with babies coming out of boxes, And like, actually, this one, she's just there, but the big poster is him with a box and a baby coming out of it, and I'm like, son of a bitch, But anyways, I saw the commercials, and I looked at it and I thought like, this is gonna be a sappy thing, so I didn't want to go see it. Even though I'm a fan of Eugenio Derbez, actually, from the Mexican shows and stuff like that, I think he's very, very, very much a funny guy. The cool thing is, I did get to go watch this movie, and after or during it, and having seen it now, I'm very glad I did as well, because it's a very, very well done film. The story from the beginning, having this kind of young man have to transform into adulthood by having a baby, his baby dropped on his doorstep pretty much, and the mom just leaves. So it's him trying to come to terms with all that. Officially, he moves to LA to try and find the girl, but he can't. So just life starts happening, and he falls in love with his little girl. Like his little girl becomes everything to him, and so the main thing for him now is just taking care of her. Until the mom finally makes an appearance back. So it's watching a person that only cared about themselves start living a life based on somebody else, and and the way the story's told between him and the child, like George said, the little girl did an amazing job, and it's a lot of fun to watch both of them together. And the thing is, it's a funny movie. It's not meant to be super funny all the time, but it's a very funny movie, and that's what keeps the story moving. It's actually, I think, about 2 hours, which is kind of long for this type of movie. But you don't even feel it because you're going through the whole thing. If you don't speak Spanish, the movie's mostly in Spanish. It goes back and forth between English and Spanish, but there's subtitles down there. The subtitles actually, I think they did a good job in translating what they meant to say and not just translating words. Because sometimes that doesn't work very well when you're translating word by word what the actors are saying, and then you're like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah, it's not like a literal translation. They really got the feeling of what they were trying to say. Like,
yeah, exactly. So that in itself helps you if you don't know Spanish, helps you kind of also continue in the story and not get kind of jarred away because of language, so especially, and if you do speak Spanish or if you've grown up watching Eugenio Derbez or Mexican TV shows and stuff like that, you'll see a lot of familiar faces in here, and and like I said, you'll already be accustomed to the brand of comedy. It's something that it's funny in all types of age groups, So anyways, overall, I thought it was a really well made film. It was very funny. I can compare it to some of Adam Sandler's better films, not all of them are, because they're not all that great, but something that has heart, is funny, and that's well told. It also has a lot of little social commentaries in it, but it doesn't beat you over the head with them. And I think that's really cool, because it's really good to see a film that is able to talk about specific things and then just kind of let them linger in your mind for you to think about, and them not trying to teach you a lesson or teach you what they want you to think about. It's just kind of like a little bit here and there, on a little bit of immigration stuff, a little bit about how we raise our kids, the differences between, maybe people in Mexico and people in America. And, and it's not one way or the other is right. It's just enough to make you think about what are we doing, and can we do better?
I actually think that's a really good way to put it, because it puts it out in front in the spotlight enough to where it makes you think about it. So I think it actually it might hit closer to home. Yeah, but, so
and you get really attached to all these characters. Like I said, I think that's because of the writing was done really well, and the story just flows really well. There's just never a time when you get pulled away from the story, and that's very hard to do, I think. So if you've never seen Eugenio Derbez, or if you've never heard of him, definitely go check out the movie. I think you'll enjoy it. If you've seen it, then for sure I know you will enjoy it. I would rate this movie a 9, because I think almost anybody can go see this and they would enjoy it. It's very funny. It's a good story. It tugs at your heartstrings every now and then. And and I was telling George earlier, it's kind of like if this movie was in English, like if it was an English movie. Because just really quick, also I know I'm ranking, but this was only out on about 350 theaters this weekend, and it made over I think it made about $12 million its opening weekend.
Yeah, so it was a little bit under 11 something.
Yeah, so it was really. It was a huge opening for this kind of film in such limited amount of spaces that were actually showing it. It's certainly going to keep growing from that, I'm pretty sure. We were there today in the morning on a weekday, and there was people in the theater, and I really thought we were going to be the only two there. So definitely, I think that if it wasn't made in English, it would be the kind of movie that kind of grows with you. Kind of like the National Lampoon movies were, if you're like an 80s kid or something like that, where you watch them every single year. This isn't necessarily fixated on Christmas or summer vacation or something, but it's that kind of movie that's got the family values, the comedy, and it's just an overall really good story. So you want to watch it. You want to watch it with family, sometimes with friends or whatever. So I really believe that almost anybody can get into it. So I give it a 9. What would you give it?
I would do 9.5 for a lot of the same reasons you gave it a 9, but I go there a little bit more just because I really want people to watch this. I'm really gonna push my friends to try to go watch this. I think that makes a big difference for me. I watch a lot of movies, and there's a lot of movies that people ask me for my opinion and I'll give, but this is one of those rare cases where I'm totally behind the movie, and especially since it's a smaller put out movie. Like I definitely want it to get the vibe it deserves, because I think some people might not even go watch it just because it's such a small thing, but it's like it's a really good film. Like it's to the point,
Yeah, it's definitely worth your time, and compared to other things that are coming out, believe me, this is still, you're gonna find it a lot of fun. So I would definitely recommend it. Get on DVD, go watch it, take some friends, take your parents. If you got abuelita, take your abuelita with you. But yeah, I mean, anything else?
No, I mean that's it. Just definitely go check it out. Again, Jorge Guerra.
Sergio Guerra.
Y'all have a good one. Bye.
Bye.